Okay. Hello and good evening to you all. I am Partharu, event planner for Microsoft Reactor Bangalore. Thank you for joining us today at the Reactor Bangalore. The session will run over next 60 minutes, including Q&A. The session will be recorded and will be uploaded to our Reactor YouTube channel. I'll share the link of our YouTube channel in the chat section soon. Before we begin, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together. So please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat will be open throughout and we do encourage you all to participate. Also, please keep your mics muted during the session. I would now like to welcome Soniya, a speaker for today's session. Soniya is a machine learning engineer as well as a data science at EXL Health, helping data science teams achieve more through automation. She loves sharing and speaking at community events. She is a cloud enthusiast, open source contributor, and mentor for aspiring data scientists. Over to Soniya to begin the session.
Thank you so much, Path. Hello to everyone watching, and thank you so much for joining the session today. And yeah, let me just go ahead and share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. Yeah, so as Path just mentioned, I am a data scientist and a ML engineer at EXL. So my day-to-day work involves doing code reviews and putting ML models into production, and as well as writing and training models myself. So feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. Here's my user handle. And I just have a, okay, sorry. Yeah, so I just have a quick agenda slide. So I think there are a few more people joining the session, so we'll just wait for them. Um, Hey, hi everyone who's just joined. We have just started, and today's agenda is going to be this, right? We're going to start with a brief overview of AI Builder and its capabilities, and what are the various models that are available, and we'll also look at some real life use cases where you can apply these models, right? And then we'll go ahead and we'll see AI Builder in action. And then after the demo, let's make the session as interactive as possible. You can ask me Q&A anytime while I'm presenting as well. And we also have, we can keep the Q&A at the end if you would like to ask me any questions. I'll be happy to answer. Um, so before I dive into AI Builder, right? So AI Builder is basically something that is it's built in the Power Platform, right? It's built for the Power Platform, and I'm heard about Power Platform. It's basically a low-code, no-code platform that spans across the Microsoft suite of products, right? And it basically allows citizen developers to create dashboards, apps, workflows, chatbots, websites with minimal coding. I mean, no coding at all. So you don't require any kind of programming experience. If you know how to use PowerPoint and Excel, it's as simple as that. If you're familiar with these two tools, you would be able to perform and use any of these applications, Power applications. And see, starting off with Power BI, I think that's one of the most popular applications that we have, right? Which allows you to build dashboards and connect different data sources and manipulate data. And then we have Power Apps, which helps you build website, mobile, desktop apps. Just by a drag and drop interface, you're able to create really good looking apps. And you can also put in your custom logics by Power FX. So it's like Excel, like logic framework, and you can even give logics to your apps using that. And then we have Power Automate, which is a part of the session today. We're going to be discussing about that. It's basically like a workflow automation tool, and it, like for example, it can help you retrieve data, retrieve attachments from your email, and then send it to SharePoint or send it to some third-party ERP platform, right? It can do all of that in just a click of buttons. Basically, it provides you this entire simple interface to create automation workflows. And then we have virtual agents, which is basically like a chatbot development platform, and it helps you create these chatbots that you can integrate then with Teams or your own website. Right, and then Power Pages is something that was just very recently launched during the Microsoft Build announcement. Actually, is when we got to know about this, and it's basically like a drag and drop PowerPoint kind of interface for creating and hosting external facing websites. Now, what you see below is basically like a horizontal capability that spans across all of these Power Apps. And the first one is basically data connectors. So it is almost like a suite of 600 plus connectors, both Microsoft and non-Microsoft applications that you can connect and it basically is a plethora of connectors that you can use within these platforms. And Dataverse is basically like a low code data storage platform. And AI Builder, which is the topic of discussion here, right? Sorry. Can you go on mute, please?
Your voice is echoing actually. Can you please repeat?
Is everyone on mute actually? It's clear now. Yeah, I mean it'll be better if you guys can go on mute, and yeah, my voice will be clear now. So so yeah, I was at the AI Builder, right? And this is what we're going to discuss for the next 50 minutes, right? And it's basically a platform that allows you, makes it very easy for you to add AI capabilities to your apps or dashboard or any of these Power Apps, right? So let's go ahead and this, okay. This slide is about a lot of people who have asked, right? Like, okay, Azure has Azure Cognitive Services, there's Azure Machine Learning, you have Azure Applied AI Services, right? And then there's AI Builder. Okay, there's so many different platforms available within Microsoft, and what exactly are we trying to use here, right? And what is AI Builder a new functionality altogether, right? So that's not the case. So basically, AI Builder is built on top of Azure AI, and it basically uses the models that have been developed under Azure Cognitive Services. And AI Builder is basically, it provides this very simple no-code interface to these models, and it's meant for citizen developers, right, who don't want to write scripts of APIs or don't want to make an API call or handle with Azure resources and all of that, right? So Microsoft has this really cool thing that it allows everyone, despite their programming knowledge, to have an experience and to embed AI into their product. So, like for example, the if you're using Dynamics 365, it already has a lot of AI models inbuilt into its applications, and that's for business decision makers who don't want to configure anything. And then we have citizen developers who want to use AI models, but they don't want to explicitly program anything, right? With a little bit of customization, they want everything to work perfectly for them. So AI Builder is nothing but an encapsulation of that, of Azure AI. And then for developers and data scientists who would like to to customize even further, to if they want to connect different services in Azure and use the AI model there, they would be able to do all of that, right? So this is like the bifurcation of the AI platforms that Microsoft has, and yeah. So the takeaway is AI Builder is nothing but an encapsulation of Azure AI. So this slide basically shows you the capabilities of AI Builder. So basically, there are 4 pillars um, uh, of um, of the models that you can say that are available in AI Builder, and the 4 pillars are usually like they're decided based on the data type the model is for. So you have one for documents, then you have language, images, and structured data. So now, for example, for documents, it basically AI Builder has these models where you can process structured and unstructured documents and process invoices, receipts. So basically, like for example, an applied scenario would be you have a purchase team in your organization and they receive a lot of purchase orders, right? And they do a manual data entry task, entering everything in their Excel, and you want to automate this. So AI Builder has a model which is pre-built, trained on a lot of purchase orders, right? So you can use that and automate the extraction process by extracting the details and saving them in an Excel sheet, right? So this is for the documents. And then we have the language, or you can say text, right? So we all of us use so many social media apps, Twitter, and there's so much text being generated all around us, and emails, and every single thing that comes to us has a lot of knowledge in it. So how do you leverage the text and um, get the key information from it, right? So AI Builder has several models which you can apply for your own use case. Now, for example, you get a lot of customer emails. And you just want a quick overview, like, okay, did I get an email where the customer is really negative, or you got an email where they are applauding your product, so you know it's a very positive feedback that they're giving us. So that's basically a sentiment analysis model, and this is something that's available in AI Builder. You just have to, you don't have to do any kind of configuration. You can just automatically use it. You just have to use it, right? So I'll come later to what are the customizable models and what are the pre-built ones. But this is just an overview. So for language, we can categorize text, right? So if you want to know, okay, this text belongs to this particular class, there are models to do that. And there's also custom model where you can train it on your own data to categorize as well. And then yeah, so as you can see, key phrases identification. And let's say, for example, you're working in a company and you only know English, but you have a lot of clients who speak different languages. They send in emails in all these different languages, so you can use the translation model to translate all of them in English, and so that you can reply to them, right? Yeah, so those are some of the scenarios. And then we have models that are specifically for the image data type, right? So models which help you detect certain objects in your image. So for example, here you have an image with cars identified, right? So AI Builder has models that can be custom trained to detect the objects that you want to be detected, or it also has a pre-built detection model actually. And then we have structured data. So structured data is basically your data like that comes in a proper tabular format. For example, sales data in a company, or a financial data, right? So you know the all the features are listed out in a CSV kind of fashion, and you could use that kind of data to predict future outcomes. Like, for example, you want to predict who are the customers who are going to leave your company, and you have data that has all the customer features and a labeled feature wherein you have already basically you have historical customer data, and there's a labeled feature which says did this customer churn or not. So you can use this kind of a historical data set and use the AI builder model to give you a classification a model, and all of this could be done without any programming. um, so I hope it was simple for you all to understand, and I think when we come to the demo and when you see the interface, it'll be even more easier for you to get a grasp of this. So actually, I wanted to bring this slide up because among the four pillars that I just shared before, the one of the most exciting and most popular models, like group of models, have been the ones for documents, right? And it has been an enormously helpful thing for organizations, as it completely takes away the need to manually verify documents, right? So intelligent document processing has been around here for some time, but what we all knew before was traditional OCR, right? So traditional OCR, basically optical character recognition is what it's called, and what it's able to do is basically it can extract all of the text from your PDF or your image, and it just gives you the text in return, right? A lump of text that has been identified in that document, in that PDF or image. But this kind of technology has been here around for decades. But what has not been here is how do you identify key information that is only useful to you, right? So if there's a big bunch of information that you found from the page, but you're only interested in the date and the amount, right? Or maybe a few other things, and you only want these details. So previously, people had to write rules, complicated rules for extracting such kind of an information, and the rules were very fragile. And now there are models that are so smart that they can identify they can identify structures within documents. Okay, so the thing that you see on your right is basically you have the IDP model. It's basically like a deep learning model that is trained to understand document structure, and it can then return informations that are stored maybe inside tables or checkboxes, if you want certain fields to be identified, or key value pairs, right? So this model is trained on so many documents that it's able to recognize the layout and the structure, and it can exactly pick that information and give it to you, return that to you. And to come up with a project like this in your own organization, if you want to build this custom model yourself, it's going to take months, even maybe years of efforts to kind of train such a state of the art model. But AI builder gives you these models, and you can just create an end-to-end process with this model infused in it within minutes, right? So that's the power. Um, and
Hi, Sonia. Sorry to interrupt. Am I audible?
yeah, you are. Yeah.
Yeah. So intelligent document process, if it is a PDF kind of invoice, does it necessarily that it is always predefined where the invoice ID will be there, where the GST number will be there, so that it will be fetched? Otherwise, how it will fetch if it is chaotic? So definitely it should be a structured format. Am I correct?
So for invoices, basically, there are, as you just mentioned, right? The layout can be different. Not every invoice has to be laid out in a certain format, but the invoice processing model that AI Builder has, it has been trained on millions of invoices, so millions of different kind of invoices, right? And it kind of knows that the invoice ID, the number, the structure, right? It performs really well. Okay, but for your particular use case, if you have a really different invoice which does not follow the norm, you can try it with the pre-built invoice model and see how it performs. But if you think the fields that is capturing is not accurate and the confidence score is really low, then you can go ahead and train a custom model for yourself, right? And I'm going to cover the custom part of how you can train a document processing model for your own custom data and define the custom fields, right? So we're going to discuss that later. But so it's up to you. So that's what I was coming to actually. How do you decide if you want to go with a custom model or a pre-built model, right? And that decision can be taken by testing out the model on AI Builder. You just it's all free, so you can test out the model using some sample documents, and then you can see how if it's performing well for your kind of data, and if it's not able to extract the details that you need, and then you can go ahead and train a custom model. So so basically, yeah, custom models are for documents that generally will they're very unique to your business, right? And so coming to custom versus pre-built models for documents specifically. So inside AI Builder, you see these three figures, right? So there's a text recognizer model, which is basically an OCR. So Microsoft has it's actually the leader in the OCR technology. It has a state-of-the-art model, which can extract handwritten as well as printed text from images and PDFs. And this is just going to send the text file to you, right, with all the recognized text. This is a pre-built model, so you can go ahead and use it straight away. But now you go to the standard models. Now, standard models are the ones we have the invoice and receipt processing model. We have a model that can identify fields from identity documents like driver's license, passports, and we have a train model for business cards as well, right? So these are all pre-trained models, and you just have to use them and see if they're able to work with your kind of data. And and then we have the custom document processing model. This custom model allows you to train with and extract custom information from structured, semi-structured, and quote unquote unstructured documents. Right. So there are three different documents we're talking about, and when you talk about invoices, receipts, purchase orders, or tax forms, these are generally documents that follow some kind of a layout, right? And if your data follows a specific form of layout, then you can go ahead and train a structured or semi-structured document processing model. But if you have a very free-flowing document, for example, legal contracts, right? So it's just paragraphs and paragraphs of information, and it's not necessary that it's going to be same for every client, right? So if you have something like contracts or financial reports or medical reports, right, which don't follow any specific format, you can also train a custom document processing on those kind of documents. Now, this unstructured documents is actually in preview now, and it's a model that has been very recently released. I think about 2 months back, and it's been preview since then. And in fact, in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can train your own model for unstructured documents, right? And we're going to see that in action. Yeah, so we have all these models, right? But this is the value from your models is not going to it's not going to be shown to the business users unless you integrate it in a way that it's an end-to-end automation kind of a workflow. So you kind of have to deploy your models, and you could do that easily with Power Automate. So when you train your models or you have your pre-built models in AI Builder, right? There is an option there where you can just it's called as use in a flow, right? So you can just click that, and Power Automate has these pre-configured templates. They're already designed, and you just can use them, or you can customize them the way you want it. Now, what this helps you do is, as you can see in the picture, it helps you create a workflow. So any workflow starts with a trigger, right? So you can give a trigger to your workflow saying that, okay, when a file is created in SharePoint, okay, then you can let's retrieve the file and run.
Sonia, sorry to interrupt. Is it exactly similar to Logic app, or more or less there is some difference?
Well, this is more or less similar. This has about 600 plus connectors in and outside Microsoft, right? So you can use those for triggering your workflow job. I think the thing here is you can, it's very well integrated with the AI builder, right? I'm not sure if you can call the AI builder models inside Logic apps. I've never tried that. I mean, you can generate endpoints for your Azure AI models, your cognitive services models, and then you can use the automation from Logic apps, right? But this is something which works very well with AI builder models, and it comes in a pre-configured template style, right? So if you want to get like whenever you receive an email, you can trigger a flow which will then process that attachment and run the model on the attachment, and then it can send a Teams message to you for approval, or it can enter that data inside an Excel sheet, right? So you can use all of these trigger point, destination point. You can customize all of that, and it gives you a variety of inbuilt options. Yeah. We're going to see how to put our AI builder models. So this AI builder is specifically for the Power apps and the entire Power platform, right? And you could very seamlessly. I'll just show you to in a few minutes how you can integrate that in a workflow, end-to-end workflow. But yeah, now this is the slide for document automation starter kit. So to make things even more simpler and easier, the Power Automate team, actually the AI Builder team, they've come up with an end-to-end solution that you can just install on your desktop, right? And it's an installable solution, and it comes with all the pre-configured solutions. It's called Document Automation Starter Kit, right? And the special thing about this is that it has a validation station. So the first three things are the same, similar thing that you can do in Power Automate, right? It can take invoices from the mailbox. It can fetch all of them and process them through the model that we have created using AI Builder. But the document automation starter kit has this validation station which is created using Power Apps, and it will allow you to or maybe like some human verifiers to come into the loop and validate the data if, for example, a particular field has a very low confidence score, right? So you can add those rules in, and if they're triggered, humans can actually be notified, and they can review the data, right? And so there's a validation station for you, and once the data is all validated, this tool can help you send those results back to any third-party ERP platforms, and they also have a monitoring application which will help you get a good overview of where exactly the pipeline is in the workflow, right? So it enables you to supervise the entire workflow. So this is the document automation thing, which is for more technical users who want to install it, and it's an out of the box solution, no configuration required. So I think enough of slides and enough of me talking. I think we should just get into the demo, right? And let's see AI Builder in action. And I would like you all to open this link. Actually, it's you can try AI Builder for free here, and once you open it, you just have to give your Microsoft account and work account, and yeah, you will be able to access the platform that I'm going to access right now, and you can do whatever I'm doing in the demo today. Yeah, so I've also shared this link in the chat. Yeah. So let me pull up my Power Automate screen. He's getting questions, is it?
Yep, we have a
We have
couple
a
of
couple of
questions.
questions.
Chat.
Chat.
Okay. Hi, Carlos. For the language support, right? Good question. The pre-built models, the invoice and the receipt models, they support about I think 90 plus languages, and the custom model, the one which you train for semi-structured and structured documents. I think it supports again 90 plus languages, and for the custom model, for the free flowing documents, we just spoke about contracts and all of that, right? So if you want to train the free flowing document automation, then it's only available in English for now. Yeah, and I actually have a slide to even discuss the requirements and the limitations for document processing models. I'll share that later. Yeah. And can I be using Power BI and Power Automate? Um, so Power BI, definitely. I just had a screen to even show that, right? Like I think few of you missed that. Yeah. So basically, if you see Power BI and all these Power platforms have this horizontal capability of the data connectors, AI Builder, and Dataverse. So if you want to use AI Builder in like the embedding those models into your dashboards, it is available. But your question is how can we trigger some logic in your dashboard using Power Automate? I think I've never done that personally, but I'm sure there would be a connector for you to connect with a Power BI dashboard. But I mean, yeah, it's something that we can figure out right now. Actually, I've never done that personally, so yeah, not sure if I can answer. And what should I put in place through this journey? I'm not sure if I understand your question. I'm so sorry. It's taking some time to load. Wait. Okay, signed out. Okay. Uh, so what you're seeing here is the AI Builder entry point that we have, right? So I'm going to pull up, yeah, the home page of AI Builder. And yeah, as you can see, the highlight here, I am poor, so I'm using a trial license. And yeah, so if you have an Azure subscription, I think you get some pre-built, you get some credits for AI Builder. Similarly, if you have a Power Apps or a Power Automate user license, I think you get some credits, 250 or 500 credits for AI Builder. Like for now, I just use the trial and trial license to play around with these different models, right? So yeah, so this is the homepage, and you can see these four pillars that we were discussing about, and you can just select these and see what are the models available, right? And The cool thing here is you can also, if you click on one of these uh, squares, you can actually test the model, okay? And it's all for free. So if you want to test, like for example, this is a sentiment model. So let me just give the audience of of reactor session is super fun. So if you, and then we click on analyze text, and I'm sure this would be positive, right? So it has given me a 99% positive. So you can, you have a quick summary of the model and what it does, and you can select the language, and you can give your own text and see how it works. And I was talking about use and flow and use an app, right? So these are the two options which will take you to the Power Automate or the Power Apps platform. But I just want to show you the different the models that we have for text, and as you can see, there are custom models available. So if you want to train these, right? So there is a documentation page as well that you can click and see how the where the data needs to be, and how you can store the data in the dataverse and all of that. But today I'll be showing you a demo on the documents data type model, right? So like like the one of the most popular ones actually has been the invoice model. And if you see here, it the model has some configured examples, right? So I'll just zoom in, fit to the screen. Yeah. So it identifies the vendor, the address, the vendor address, and the date. Then you have the invoice ID and customer address. So these are all fields that the model is trained to recognize. You don't have to configure anything. And you see there's a table here, and the model can also retrieve the table from your document, right? So due date, and there's the total amount. Okay, so invoice total, right? So all of these are predefined features. Now, for example, now I just want to maybe for fun, let's give it a handwritten invoice. Okay, this is going to be really challenging because I found this on the internet, and so basically now what I just did was to test with my own data. You can just click on the upload new option, and you can yeah, you can give in your own invoices and see how well it performs. So we have this really difficult. I mean, even I cannot read the handwriting here, but let's see how the model is done, right? So we have the customer address, we have the invoice date, which is not bad, September 30, and it is not it is identified 1947 has been 187. So that's why if you look at the every field comes with a confidence score as well, right? So you know how well how confident the model is. So model is only 51% confident, which is not great, right? Uh, and then you have the address here. So Claremont, 28%, and then the description. So if I go to the millify per, I mean, it's really hard for me to even read it, but I think the model is done pretty well for this kind of a handwriting, right? So fire fantas in guaranteed working order. Yeah, working order seems fine, and guaranteed seems fine. And then we have 150 with a confidence score of 96. So even with a handwritten document, it is able to identify the invoice details. Right, and this is a table, and it's able to identify that this is a table, and it's giving you the information in a table, right? So let's go ahead and see how we can use this in a flow. I was talking about the flow, right? The Power Automate end-to-end flows. Now we just clicked on the use in a flow button, and this takes us to a screen which has a pre-configured template, right? And this basically requires you to have access to Dataverse, Office 365, and Outlook. And I've already signed into all of these using my Microsoft account. And once you signed in, so this is a, so I didn't have to sit and configure any of the parts of the workflow here. Now, what this workflow basically does is it has a manual trigger, right? So it will, this workflow will only get triggered when you click a particular button and you send in your invoice file. But it's up to you to customize if you want to trigger this when you're getting a when you're getting an email with an attachment, or if you're getting a file in SharePoint, you can do that as well. But just to keep this very simple, I'm going to just have a manual trigger for now. And then we have this thing which will take the invoice file and it will pass it through the pre-built invoice model that AI Builder has. And then it will send an email to us, right? So it will send an email to this the ID that I've just signed in from, and it's going to give all these extracted details back in the email. Now I'm not I mean I'm interested in something more. Okay, now let's say I have an Excel sheet, and I want the extracted details to be entered in this Excel sheet, right? And so I've defined a table here, and I'm going to show how you can add all of the data that has been retrieved from the model to the Excel sheet that I have, right? So you just go click on the press button here and insert a new step. So it can be an add an action. Okay, and within this you see that there are lots of like connectors that we have here, right? So we have the built-in ones, we have the standard connectors. So it's not so from Microsoft we have Microsoft Teams. You can connect with Outlook, you can connect with SharePoint, Planner, Azure Cognitive Services. Okay, you can call in Azure services from here, and not just that, you can also like I think there are certain AWS connectors as well, right? So you can have a look at that, right? So use, so there are premium connectors as well, so that will require a license, right? And yeah, so for now I have the Excel in my online Outlook, right? I mean, sorry, it's on my OneDrive. So I have my Excel connector here, and I'm going to choose an action, which is maybe, yeah, which is basically adding a row into a table. Okay, so I'm going to use this, and this is going to add uh, a row into the Excel sheet that I'm going to define here. Now it's going to ask me where is my Excel, right? So I have OneDrive. My Excel is in my OneDrive, and the library for OneDrive is OneDrive. And where is my file? Okay, so it's going to ask me where is my file. So I have invoice tracker Excel sheet already inside my OneDrive, and then it is the Power Automate has already identified that there is a table inside my Excel sheet, right? So and it's going to retrieve the table the column names, and it's going to show me here, right? So I have these three column names. And now what am I going to add in those column names, right? So there is a list of things. These are basically the model results, okay? And they are called as the dynamic content. So the model will return you all these predefined fields, and it's up to you to decide what you want to use. So for me, I just need the invoice ID, right? So I'm just going to add ID here, and I have the invoice ID. So I'm going to choose that. Then I need the date. Okay, so there is due. So So, I mean, some of you might have questions, right? Like date, is it only available in text format, or the model can actually convert it into a date format? Okay, so that I don't have to apply another logic on my Excel sheet to convert the data types. So it's pretty neat here. So it also has a date formatted invoice date. So I'm just going to use that, right? And then I have the I just need the total of my invoice. So I have invoice total in text, and do I have an invoice total in number? Yes, I have an invoice total in number. Okay, so I'm going to use that. Okay, so I have added all these three fields that I need from my model, and I'm just going to save this quickly. So it's saving. Now your flow is ready to go, and let's test it. So I'm going to select manual trigger, and then it's going to ask me, okay, you are logged into all of it. And then it's going to ask me, please give me an invoice file, right? So it's going to trigger the flow only when it gets an invoice file. So let me just give the invoice that I found on the internet, right? And I'm just going to give that to test it. Okay. So let's, to monitor it, let's go to the flow runs page. Right. So we have our so our flow is basically running now. Your flow is running. And you see, all of the steps have been finished. Let's go and see if the information has been added. There you go. So you have the invoice ID, the date, and the amount extracted in your Excel sheet. And let me just go and check the mail as well. Yep. So I've received an email saying that yeah, I've got all of this the invoice ID, the date, the total, and the line items. And I've also got a link to say, okay, if you want to understand further about invoice processing, you can go here. And if you want a quick look into the invoice, you can just jump in and see where exactly it's being used. I mean, you can get you can just do a validation, right? You can open the invoice and see if all the fields are extracted correctly. Okay, so that was a quick overview of the invoice model. What I export documents in Power BI using Power Automate. Okay, so you want to export documents in Power BI after you finish processing it in Power Automate. Is that right? I think, I mean, if you can just go ahead and check if there's a connector for Power BI, right? Like, I mean, yeah, there is, right? So you have all these actions there. Like you can export a file, you want to update a goal, all these actions, you want to run a query, or you want to do something, add rows. So yeah, here you go. You have all these connectors for Power BI, and you can add them as a step inside your flow. So after the model runs, then probably you can, yeah, send it to your Power BI. Hope that answers the question. Does Power Automate support exporting unstructured data? Um, Unstructured data like images and videos. If you want to extract certain details from like it does support images and PDFs, right? And I don't see any kind of support for videos so far, but images, PDFs are the only two supported documents for the document processing models. Yeah. Okay, so we I mean, we saw how to use a pre-built. Does it do classification of images? Yeah, absolutely. Yes, there is a model. I'm going to show it right now. Wait. So within those 4 pillars, we have a pillar for images as well, right? So there are models that can be trained to classify images. In fact, they have partnered with a company called Lobe, and you can wait a second. So there is a so detect custom objects in images and classify your images based on their content, right? So they have an app actually that allows you to train image classification models. It's free to use and it lets you upload your models directly to your Power Platform account. Okay, so you can download Lobe and check that out. And if you want to train something, I think they have. You can. This is a detection algorithm. I think what you asked is a classification algorithm, right? Yeah. Okay. Very very nice to see all these questions. Just a second. Let me come back. Yeah. Does it does it have option of doing classification using custom algorithms? Yes, it does. So Lobe is used. I mean, if you download it, it is used for training on your custom data, and then can we use the MS form recognizer model in Power Automate? Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to call a specific if you want to call a specific endpoint or a model, right? You have your own model that you want to use in Power Automate. Yes, you can. There are connectors and available, and uh, you would be able to do that. Yeah. So it's not just restricted to these models, right? You can bring in your own custom models as well and put them in the flow. Okay, and I wanted to show you something cool, right? So because we are talking about custom models and training and all of that, how do you really train documents on AI Builder? So let me give you just a quick demo on how the training custom training looks like. So I've just opened the page here. And so when you want to extract custom information from documents, the first thing that it's going to ask you is your document a structured one or an unstructured one? So as I told you, the unstructured documents are still in preview, right? So that means it's a very experimental feature, and they're still working on improving the scores and everything. But you can also see that only English documents are supported. But for structured documents, it supports about 90 plus languages. Yeah. So today we're going to see a very interesting use case. Not just imagine you're working in a legal firm and you get hundreds of rental agreements to study every day. Now, for you to manually go and look at a agreement and figure out who the landlord is, who the tenant is, what is the location, right, and what is the like if you want to understand the address of the rental property, the amount, you want to get all of these details from your contacts, right? And your contacts are basically, they don't specifically follow any structure, so you can go with the unstructured training here. And as you can see, you can give in your resumes. You can give in something like a financial, this is a statement of work, scope of work document, right? And you can give all these things, uh, and then you can define the fields that you want to extract from your documents, right? Now, for the demo, I'm going to be using rental agreements, and I want to. So basically, I want to retrieve, let's say, landlord, tenant, and address. Okay, these three things I'm interested in. So when you're training the model, it's going to ask you what are the fields that you're interested to extract, or checkboxes, right? So it also supports checkboxes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say one of the fields I want is landlord. Okay, I want the landlord name, and then I want the tenant name, and I also need like I need the rental amount. Okay, and I want the model to also um, give me the rental uh, address. Okay, and okay, maybe okay, these are the four fields that I'm interested in, and let me just go ahead and extract these right from my documents. Now when you want to train it on your data, it's going to ask for the documents, right? Now you see something called collection. Collection is basically a group of documents that have similar layout, right? If you know that your yeah, it's basically they share the same layout, right? But for unstructured documents, you can put all of your documents inside one collection, right? It's not like you have to create different ones. But if you were doing this for an invoice or a structured document, you could, if you get it from, like if you have a invoice specifically from one provider, then you can put that in one collection, and you can create up to, I think, 200 collections for structured document training. And for unstructured, I think there is no limit on the number of collections that you can create. In fact, I think you can add in everything in one collection and it would still work. So I'm going to just leave it as it is, right? I'm going to add documents inside this collection. And you see there are restrictions here as well, 50,000 pages in total, right? And it supports JPG, PNG, and PDF documents, right? So I'm going to add in, and it gives three data sources that you can fetch the data from. And I'm going to go with my device, and I already have rental agreements. I've splitted them in train and test data. I'm going to select all of them and upload them. Okay, so I'm going to upload my documents. Cool. So I have all my documents here, and it says we need at least 5 sample documents in total. So to train your model with good accuracy, you need to give it 5 high quality scan documents, right? And if you think your documents are not of a good quality, they're skewed, or they're like basically like pictures taken not in a good shape, then strongly recommend you to at least give 15 to 20 documents, right? Just to improve the performance of the model. But if you have really good scanning quality, then 5 would be more than enough, right? So you give 5 documents, and then the most fun part is how lovely their interface is for tagging your documents. So what it's going to ask us now is where exactly these fields are. So basically, just assume that you have a new intern in your office and you're teaching the intern how to do this task, right? So similarly, you have to train your model and you have to teach it where exactly these fields are, right? So you have to explicitly tell them, and that process is called tagging, or in more machine learning terms, it's called annotating data. So this is a very simple no code interface for you to do that. So like, let's say now I am looking for landlord, and where is landlord in this agreement, right? So I have Andrew Lawson, the landlord, right? So I'm just going to say that this is the landlord. But as you see, Andrew is not sufficient. I want Lawson as well. And it's basically overflowing to the next line. But we have a cool capability here. It's called continue tagging. So you can continue tagging and select landlord. So both of these would be in the landlord field. right? So you have the landlord, and then you go for the tenant. So you just select Preston Models as the tenant, and then you have the rental amount. Where is the rental amount? Yeah, we have about 1570. Okay, it's going to be the rental amount, and the rental address, which is going to be um, yeah, wow. That's how simple and amazing it is. So without any kind of explicit coding, without writing lines and lines of Python R codes, you, yeah, just tag it, say this is the rental address. Well, I want this as well, so I'm going to do rental address. Does attribute tagging should be done manually? Yep, this has for now it is now why are we doing this manually? Because these documents are very specific to your use case, right? So AI Builder doesn't really know where these the fields that you are interested in are exactly located. Okay, if it was an invoice or receipt or a driver's license, for example, these are very commonly used documents. So they already know the structure and they have trained them. But these documents require manual tagging because you can customize it. Now basically I am interested in these four fields, but what if you're interested in an entire paragraph example, right? And you want to tag it as another another field, okay, which might not be of interest to me, right? So all those things are customizable. That's why it is manual. um, so so I've tagged this for one document, right? And now I can just go ahead and do it for the next document. And yeah, so you just keep continuing it for the 5 documents that you have, and it's going to be pretty time consuming, right? So I'm going to I'm not going to do this. I've already trained the model. So yeah, I'm going to show that to you. I've already trained it and kept it ready. So basically you just go ahead, go to all the 5 the documents, tag them all, and once you are finished with your tagging, there will be the final screen which will say are you ready to train it, and you just click on the training. It took me about 20 minutes to finish the training, and your model is ready to be used, right? So let's go back. Wait a second. So once you finish all your training, it's the model is going to be shown in the models page. Whoa, okay. So we have, see, you have these 2 models that I think I just was playing around. The one which has already been trained is this one, right? So I'm just going to click on this, and I'm going to show you how it looks like, right? So once you finish all of the training, I basically trained this model to extract all these details: start date, end date, amount, and all of these. And you are going to see 2 options here. You can Power Automate gives you all a pre-configured template to use your model, right? So you can see this. How do you want to use your model? For example, you want to use it inside Power Apps, you can directly click here and it'll take you to the that platform. And if you want to put it in the document automation starter kit, you can do that. And I just want to put it in a Power Automate workflow. And then it's going to ask me, how do you think you're going to receive your documents? So now, for example, I'm going to receive my documents in a shared mailbox account or my work account, right? Whatever it is. So I can select either one of these. Now, for example, I mean, these are all pre-configured. You can click on any one of them and customize it according to your use case. How do we say train test model accuracy? Very good question. I think for custom document processing, they do not have a screen that tells you how well the model is performed, which is available for other models. But for this one, they don't have it. But if you want to understand how good the model is, you can obviously go for a quick test, right? So you can test with your own images or PDFs here, and like for example, I'm just going to go to the test one that I have, and I'm going to see how well it is done, right? So you can do that for a few of your documents and see if the model is generalizing pretty well. But in the future, I have heard that the team is planning to create, create an evaluation screen with all the metrics, which will help you understand how well the model is performing. Right now, I don't see that as a feature here. So we have, see, so for this test document that I have, it's able to identify the tenant, the landlord, it's identified the address, the rental end date, the rental start date, and the amount, right? So it's doing pretty good. And learn how you can improve your model. So if you click that, you will see um, uh, how to improve the scores. And if you want, you can definitely go ahead and retrain the model if you think you are, if it's not able to identify all the fields, right? Um, so yeah, I'm Have you seen any misclassification model results feature? Well, I have not trained it on like for this particular model that I tried, it worked perfectly fine, and it's almost, I would say, 99% accurate for this training that I've done. But misclassifications, probably. I'm interested to actually run this model on a few. Uh, uh, I have a set of documents, but they're pretty confidential, right? So I'm not sure if I can expose them to this platform. So I haven't tested that out yet, and I'm assuming that this extraction process would be quite difficult when your layouts are extremely different, right? And In that case, you would have to give it lot more of training data, and you'll have to give it. I think the documents that I have personally, they do not follow any kind of data at all, like sorry, layout at all, right? So I'm still very interested to see if I can create a generalized model using AI Builder. But as I told you, the only issue is the data confidentiality here. So again, if there are other ways to uh, to solve the data confidentiality and all of that issues as well. I mean, you can retrieve your data from Azure S3 or whatever when it's protected over there, and you can do all of that. But so personally, I have not come across any misclassifications here. But as a warning, so the custom document processing for free form documents, it's still in preview, right? It's not a full-fledged production ready feature from AI Builder. They're still working on it. So yeah. Um, this particular flow, right, it brought me here. So I have this complicated pre-configured flow, which starts with when a new email arrives. I have this option. Whenever a new email arrives, I can say that, okay, if the subject has AI Builder, I am going to process the email. If it doesn't have this particular AI Builder in the subject, I'm going to I'm going to ignore that email, right? So you can give a subject filter here, and you can say that you're only interested for emails with attachments, right? So you can give all of that, and yeah, can we ask load trained model pickle file? So if you want to bring your own models, I think the pickle file that you're asking here, right? Which uh, I mean, for that you'll have to see if there is a particular connector to be able to do that. In fact, I think there's a great community of people who use Power Automate. Uh, if your pickle file, your model is basically available as an endpoint, okay, somewhere, and you can basically trigger that with a step here. So if it's available as an endpoint, you have made it as an API call, then you can just trigger it within Power Automate. You can basically create an action called HTTP. Uh, um, uh, I think trigger an endpoint option. There's a connector available. You can do that. But if you want to bring your own model, yeah, HTTP request. Yes, correct. So you can trigger your endpoints from the Power Automate, but from the pickle file, right? So that again, I'm not pretty sure if it supports pickle files, and if it supports or if it's only meant for certain kind of formats, and all that, right? So I'm not sure about that. But from what I have personally researched, it is possible to load in your own models as well. Yeah, not just not very sure about the pickle format. Yeah. So basically, it's going to be very, very similar to what we saw earlier, right? It's going to just process my attachment, and then it's going to send me an email with the landlord, the tenant, the rent amount, right? So it's going to just the flow is going to be doing that. And for example, again in this flow, I want to basically extract after I've extracted. So this is my custom model that I've just created, right? So you can use that, and you can say this is the particular attachment that we're giving. And you can also maybe if I have an Excel sheet, okay, with the particular where I want to enter all of this data, you can do the same process again, right? So you can select the Excel sheet and go ahead. I mean, it's going to be pretty similar to what we saw earlier. So yeah, keep the questions coming. I think this is all I have actually. So I have a rental agreement tracker Excel sheet, right? And I'm going to, and I already have a table. So it looks something like this, right? So I have a table already created, and I can just go to my, so I can just go to my columns that have been already fetched using this connector. I can just then add in all of the values here. So I can go to the tenant value, right? And keep on adding here. As the AI builder is on Cloudflow, but is it support to PAD as well? What is PAD? I'm Oh yes, yes. So there are flows for cloud and for desktop. Yes, you can create desktop flows as well. Okay. So I mean, uh, I think I already have a flow. So you see cloud flows, there's desktop flow, right? So I already have a flow which is configured, right? So I'm going to just run this. It's already up and running, so it's going to look for a particular rental agreement in the mail. So for example, now I'm just going to send a new email, right, to myself, and let's see this in action. So if I'm going to send it to myself, and let me just add an attachment. So if I give this, and then as I told you, you need the AI builder in the subject, right, for it to process. So I'm going to give the AI builder one and as a subject, and I'm just going to send it to myself, right? So we have the send option, and right? So I've sent it to myself, and I'm just going to see how the flow works. So it has to um, basically fill in the rental agreement sheet that I've created, correct? Oh, I've got a Teams message. It's probably triggering some other flow, and I'm suppose if it is run successfully, it's going to fill this particular sheet as well, right? So yeah, basically that's all from me, guys. So that's how it looks, right? You keep you just have to enter all of the details that you need from the model inside one of your connectors, and it's going to send you an email back saying that okay, we have finished processing your model, right? So this particular model takes some time, okay, and realized it later as well. So yeah. Um, if you all have any other questions, we can talk about that. For in terms of like the slides, I think the one that I wanted to cover was this one, right? What are the requirements and limitations for document processing? So it requires PDF, JPG, PNG, and the quality of the scans must be high enough. And I've already, I think I've spoken about the language support for both of these models, and and the collections as well, right? If you are looking at specific, how many layouts can it handle? It's up to 200 for structured and semi-structured. Yeah. And this particular link, right? So if you want to try it for free, um, just go ahead and access this login using your Microsoft Work account, and you'll be able to get a trial license for AI Builder, and also have access to Power Automate. Yeah, you can go ahead and try out whatever I was showing you in the demo. Yeah. I think we are over time also. So sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So, any more questions, guys? Final call.
Where do we see the error logs? Um, Error logs for a specific. I
The
think
like the flows, right? You created flows, and when things go wrong in that,
yeah.
how do they do?
So basically, if you can handle it yourself by giving a logic, right? So let's say, for example, your model failed to work. In that case, you can create an if condition and handle it in a different way. You can send an email saying that the flow didn't work. But Automate has this
I mean,
feature.
that's the definition of the flow itself, right? I'm trying to say, like, how it's like, is there a debug mode for these flows? What went wrong, or what can I have any insight into what was executed and how it executed through? See, if
Yeah,
I'm creating a complex flow there, then I need to know what is the path it took and how the output came, right?
yeah, correct.
So,
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is it absolutely is possible. So you see the status tracker here. If your model or your flow fails, right? So it's going to say failed, right? And then you can just go there and debug what exactly failed. So for example, this one which we just ran recently, it worked fine. All of these steps worked fine. But let's say something just didn't happen correctly, you would be able to get the exact error log as well. So I had this experience before, and I was able to see the error logs. In fact, if you want to, I mean, there are different ways to even uh, get the code snippet, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, you can also see what is the code that is running behind the scenes to actually do this. But the debugger, I mean, it cannot send you a mail directly saying that your AI builder failed. Sorry, your workflow failed. You would have to either incorporate that in your workflow design, or you have to come here and see how the history of the status.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
So I
you.
think,
It
yeah.
was a very useful. I'm very happy about the capabilities. Thinking about ideas. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
this I mean, few years back we couldn't even imagine all of this to be done using our own scripts, right? And it would have taken us months to create such a model. But now it's all low code, no code, and it's just a simple click of buttons, and in few minutes you have this complex model ready. So yeah, I hope this was helpful to everyone watching, and yeah, there are lots of resources available to upskill yourself on Power Automate and AI Builder. So please go ahead and check that out. And yeah, sure. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I'm sharing few links in the chat section. So if you could see those links, everyone. So the first link is our Reactor LinkedIn group channel. The second one is our Reactor Meetup page channel, and the third one is our Reactor YouTube channel where we post all our events. And then the fourth one is the survey link where you can give your feedback about the event. And fifth one is the like today's learn module from the Power Automate. Uh, It will take your further learning. And thank you, Sonia, for the session, and thank you all for joining us today. Please do share your feedback about today's session. Also, feel free to use the learn module links in the chat section, and as well as the Sonia has shared the she has shared a link which will like access it will like take you to the additional resources and take your learning further. Please do visit our Microsoft Reactor Bangalore meetup page for more upcoming sessions. Thank you all once again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Sonia, so much for
thank you.
such an a good interactive session.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Had so much fun. Thank you all for